love it. And so it's worth being there. It's worth being there for each step we take. G'day, this is Paul Kinnenmonth in Sydney for Staging Success Part 8. And this is Harvest. And appreciate your company for the episodes to date. So last time I spoke of courage, and I gave the quote of courage begins with the willingness to simply show up and be seen. And this episode, I'd like to touch on what happens once we've showed up and we've been seen. And what came to myself in terms of the element that's made it possible for me to lead a production, that element, and irrespective of all my foibles and shortcomings, but that element has allowed myself to come through and lead, and that would be integrity. So once I've showed up and I've had the courage and the willingness to be seen, integrity is that from which place, the place from which I am able to communicate and be an example and be, the word comes to mind as authority, but it's authority in the sense of just being able to guide the process. And process is really the key element to the product. So with integrity and being open and being accountable, I'd also like to speak of that, the truism around that the product comes from the process. And so bringing that integrity and bringing that transparency and bringing that accountability and accessibility, bringing that in from day one. And what I've discovered from beginning the new production, this year we're working towards a new show, is that was really clear from the outset. When we met, I would be open and I would be authentic and I would be inclusive. And so with that, I'm giving a version of integrity that I hadn't really applied before as a leader. And that has to do with being receptive to the feedback that comes back to me and responsive to that feedback. So this is, this is a summary of where we've gone, and I've looked at the production, and I feel like that, in essence, that's what I would like to share to close the series, and that being integrity, and that integrity being the forefront from the beginning of the production of your project, of your event. And that really is where you set the culture. And as I mentioned previously, that you the leader, you are the culture. And that, the freedom and the vitality of that culture comes from our freedom, comes from our vitality and authenticity and availability and accessibility. And so with that, just acknowledging that integrity, I'd also like to acknowledge the process. So the means is as important or more important than the ends. So just to be mindful of the process. And that really feels, that's going to honor the enthusiasm, the love, the passion, the inspiration that got us into the chair of leader in the first place. And to honor that, just that vitality that drove us and drives us to lead, and that's going to be there in the process. It's not natural to focus step by step of the journey, but that's really the discipline of being the leader, of being there each step of the way, and being, really being available each step of the way. So just remember why we're heading up this project. We love it, and so it's worth being there. It's worth being there for each step we take. So this is a short version of Staging Success On YouTube, you'll find Hamlet, the production, which was the seed, was the impetus for this series of Staging Success. The lessons learned on that production, well, that's this series, and the production itself will be on YouTube shortly. So that's me, and that's really what I'd like to share with you. And finally, I'm going to wish you the very best with your project, with your initiative, and to really be there for the process and be available for the process. And that's really what being a leader, and that's really what Staging Success is about. So I wish you all the best, and bye for now.